Hi guys, welcome back to the Home and Homestead. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, I'm Rebecca. Today we're going to be doing some gardening, and I'm really excited to share that I finally have a GreenStalk. This year we didn't have a lot of yard or garden projects to budget for. I was able to purchase a GreenStalk vertical planter. I actually purchased two because they were on a really good sale. So what I'm going to do today is set up one of my vertical planters and show you what I'll be planting in that. I prepared an area in our rock garden where we previously had a tree that we had to cut down, and I wanted to put something there that would fill up that area and make a nice statement, and I thought this would be the perfect spot for one of our vertical planters. So let's head outside so we can set up and plant a GreenStalk vertical planter. Now I enjoy the look of a vertical planter. We have a number of them already, but they are much smaller in size and by different brands, and they work really nicely for planting flowers, both edible and just for looks, as well as herbs and things like that, and they take up a nice small space. I will say, I noticed right away when I opened the box for this GreenStalk vertical planter, they're rather heavy duty and have a much larger capacity for soil and planting, and once assembled, they're much larger and taller than the previous vertical planters that I've used, and actually quite heavy as well. So that's something to be mindful of. If you're looking for a real small, compact vertical planter, I have some examples in previous videos and I'll include them in the description box below. And if you have the room and would like a larger capacity for planting, then a GreenStalk might be something that you'd want to try as well. So now let's dive right in and get this new GreenStalk vertical planter set up and planted. So I went with the stone colored original GreenStalk vertical planter. It has 6 different reservoirs, I would say, on each level, and there's 5 tiers. So what you want to make sure first is that you have a nice, stable, level surface for your planter to rest. Now I purchased the rolling mover base, so it has 6 wheels as well as an optional drain tube, which I think will be nice when it rains and when it's watered. Any excess water will then divert off of the little paver base that I have, and you can have it divert away from any unwanted areas as well with this drainage tube. So we'll be having one GreenStalk on our deck, and the other one here will be in our rock garden, and we created a paver base so it has a nice stable level surface to rest on. So much like I typically do for my container planting, for the GreenStalk I'm going to start with a thin layer of compost on each tier of the planter and then fill it with a high quality soil. It's important to note that for the GreenStalk they say to fill it all the way to the top, and that makes sense because whenever you're planting in a container and such like that, once you water then the soil tends to settle. You want your soil to be a nice tall level so once it's planted and it's watered it doesn't go too low on each of the tiers. Then what I did was I did a small little depression in the middle of the tier of the planter because that is where you're going to rest the watering pan. And as you can see, there's tiny little holes in the bottom of each level's water pan. So the water will go down and each pan, the water will seep down those holes and then water that particular tier. So I wanted to make sure there wasn't any compacted soil right under where those holes were. So hopefully this will help to evenly water each of the tiers like the GreenStalk is designed to do. So once we have this particular tier all set up with compost and soil and we have the watering pan in, then we can plant it. So for the first level I wanted to do a nice greenery. This is one of my favorites. It's called Silver Dust or Dusty Miller. It has a nice soft texture to it and it's a nice silvery green color, and it should fill in nicely in each of the reservoirs. So I'm going to plant that into each of the 6 pockets there, and this will be a nice base for my vertical planter. Now moving on to the second tier, again what I'm going to do is put a thin layer of compost and then fill it up with a nice quality soil right up to the top, leaving a little bit of a dip in the middle so I can put the watering pan for that particular tier. Now for this level I'm going to do 3 hanging basket begonias, and these are bulbs and they will fill in each of these little pockets. It'll kind of drape down the sides of the tier and fill in little areas with these beautiful flowers and greenery of this red begonia. So these should be nice bright red flowers, and the begonia leaves are typically nice and full and green and lush. So I'm looking forward to these filling in. And these are a nice hardy plant to consider as well. So here's what the bulbs look like, and they have the little sprout of the begonia starting at each of them as well. So these look like nice healthy plants to get into the soil of the GreenStalk. So when I plant them, I'm going to have these pink little tips of the begonia plant sticking upward, and then the little root structure will be down. And I'll put them into 3 of the pockets of the 6 of this level because these are such nice, lush, and big plants that they really should fill in nicely for that tier of the planter. Now we'll move on to the 3rd one, and again compost and soil, and then I'll plant 3 of the dusty millers, and I have them kind of stagger planted so that the one tier down I planted them opposite, so then when the begonia drapes down and the dusty miller fills in the gap above, hopefully it'll have a nice balanced appearance. What's nice about the vertical planters is if one tier needs to be rotated or shifted, maybe it's growing in a different direction, it's very simple to do. And here's a watering pan for that 3rd level. So now for the 4th, we'll do the compost and soil, leaving the small depression for that watering pan as well. And then I'll do another 3 hanging basket begonias in that bright red color. You can see them planted, and I did a little stagger planting as well in 3 of the 6 pockets from this particular tier. And now for the top tier, we'll fill it with some compost and soil. And the top tier has a different designed watering pan. This is the top one where you'll be dumping the water into, then it will trickle down to all the different layers below. This is a much larger watering pan. It's about the size of the tier itself. So this should hold a nice capacity of water for when you're watering your planter. Then I also picked up this cute little lid. It's a rotating leaf lid. It's in the same stone color as the planter, and you can rotate that little green leaf to cover the hole. So this will help keep debris and things like that out of the watering system. And then when you want to water your plants, you just simply open up that little leaf and dump the water in. I thought it was a cute finishing touch and functional as well, so I made sure to pick that up with my planter. And then once I have everything planted in my GreenStalk, I went around and I watered everything with a watering can. And I like to do that with any of my vertical planters, if I have seeds or bulbs especially, just to make sure that I know that those pockets for the plants have the appropriate amount of moisture and the seeds and bulbs and things like that can germinate and thrive, and then I can start to rely on the vertical planter's watering system thereafter. So what I did was I watered all the pockets with the watering can, and I also watered it with some water through the top watering system so everything can get a nice good drink. So I'm looking forward to using my GreenStalk vertical planters that we were able to pick up this year. This one we have planted with some beautiful red hanging basket begonias and some dusty miller, lovely silver and green greenery. And hopefully this will become a lush and beautiful statement planting for our rock garden. If you're interested and find out more information on the GreenStalk vertical planter or other style vertical planters as well, you can check out information in the description box below, where I have links to various products and accessories and things that are just helpful in the garden as well. If you'd like more ideas or inspiration on planting various containers and vertical planters, as well as gardening and other DIY projects, be sure to check out the various playlists on the topics. Well, if you're new to the channel or haven't done so yet, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. So please be sure to hit that subscribe button below and continue to watch my channel, The Home and Homestead, for some more homemade, homegrown, and home style inspiration. Well, I surely hope that you're having a wonderful day. See you next time. Take care.